I also want to thank all of you for coming for this particular event. We come here because we have our skin in this game of the real estate investment trust, and we've been a friend of this association for a long time. But I come here to represent my CEO, and therefore I'm meant to read his speech. That's why I started. But before I do that, let me just talk about Wagema first. You know, when Wagema introduces you, you need to maintain your tempo. Otherwise, he can dial you up and then he will leave you up there and you don't know how to get back. He's also a man who lost his name, Devt, but he still insists on using it. Just like I also lost my name somewhere, but once in a while I also try to use my name somewhere. Okay, fine. But I'll just go ahead and read the speech of my chief executive. He got something else to do for this morning that he could not delegate. So he decided to delegate this one, not because he doesn't think this is important. It's because he believes that I'll be able to represent him well. So if you're so disappointed to see me because you're expecting Mr. Shamia, be assured I'll do my best to try and make sure that I represent him well. So I just want to recognize our chair for REIT Association, Jeff Ondundo, in absentia, I think he's just left. I also want to recognize Kenneth Masika, now through Ann Mushiri from KPDA. I want to recognize Bwana Kitonyi, the chairman of Nairobi Securities Exchange, again in absentia, but we certainly had Mr. Frank Mwiti, the chief executive of Nairobi Securities Exchange. I just want to recognize you. Also, I want to recognize representatives from the World Bank, members of REIT Association of Kenya, investors represented by Fund Managers Association of Kenya, representatives of capital market participants and industry partners present here today, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Before I proceed, I just want to recognize members of the Capital Markets Authority present here. If you could just stand up so that they can, give you a round of applause. A round of applause for them, please. These are the people behind the scene. They are the ones who have been doing the work, and I came here to take the credit. That's a joke if you guys don't realize. Okay, fine. So it's a great honor for me to stand before you today to deliver my remarks and witness the launch of the awaited REIT Toolkit and Incubator Program. This initiative represents a significant step forward in our collective ambition to transform both the Kenya REITs and its capital market ecosystem. Ladies and gentlemen, recent data shows that as at the end of 2024, there were 1,021 listed REITs in 42 countries and regions worldwide, in a combined market capitalization of US dollar 2.04 trillion. This is an extraordinary leap from only 120 REITs in 2 countries about 3 decades ago. Today, REITs operate in markets covering 85% of global GDP and 63% of the world population. Even in the face of global macroeconomic risk, REITs have continued to show resilience, as evidenced by their capacity to outperform the broader stock market, reaffirming their values as inflation-hedged, diversified, and long-term instruments. Notably, in the Asia-Pacific region, REITs are expanding rapidly in markets such as Singapore, Japan, Australia, and the Philippines, where supportive regulations, strong institutional demand, and innovative structures have driven sustained growth. This momentum underscores the universal appeal of REITs as a tested and scalable model for real estate financing. In 2024, ladies and gentlemen, the African real estate market was valued at US dollars 15.98 trillion, with projections indicating growth to US dollar 20.11 trillion by 2028, an annual growth rate of about 5.9%. Kenya is a key part of this trajectory, with real estate and construction sector contributing over 14% of GDP in the first quarter of 2025. Domestically, REITs are becoming increasingly relevant in addressing Kenya placing challenges. The country faces a housing deficit of about 2 million units, which grow by approximately 250,000 units annually. REITs present a market-based solution to mobilize capital for affordable housing, commercial real estate, logistics, green buildings, and hospitality assets. Esteemed delegates, our journey began in 2013 when Capital Market Authority led the development of the Capital Market Real Estate Investment Trust Collective Investment Schemes regulations. And by the way, those regulations are now out for exposure, for public participation. If there's something that you'd want to say about those regulations, please come forward and let us have your comments. And also, if you can be able to assist us in just spreading that word that we have put our REIT regulations for exposure, and the public can actually come forward and be able to contribute in this particular industry by way of making sure that our regulations are as responsive and as enabling as they can ever be. Also to note, the Capital Markets 2023-2024 strategic plan prioritizes REITs as a core area for capital market deepening. We are encouraged to see stakeholders from developers to fund managers and institutional investors increasingly engaging with this asset class. To support this growth, recently Capital Market Authority partnered with the Kenya Revenue Authority and the National Treasury to align tax rules through the Income Tax Registered Collective Investment Schemes Rules 2025. Key reforms includes the following, and this is very important. 1, elimination of the 12-month existence requirement before exemption. 2, removal of the 12.5% ownership cap per unit holder, giving investor greater flexibility. 3, removal of the minimum 25 unit holder requirement within 6 months, which had constrained fund formation. And 4, recognition that CIS registered under the Capital Market Act are deemed registered by the Commissioner of Kenya Revenue Authority, eliminating double registration by KRA. On stamp duty exemption, discussions are ongoing and we shall keep stakeholders updated as progress is made. We hope that these reforms, alongside CMA's ongoing advocacy, shall provide a firm foundation for the expansion of Kenya REITs market to historic levels. Ladies and gentlemen, Kenya REITs market has shown promising performance despite challenges, and this includes the following data that we are able to present. First, financial year 2024 data showing that the combined net operating income of Kenyan REITs rose by 107.1%, reaching Kenya shillings 2.28 billion. Acorn D-REIT has delivered 27% gain since inception, while Acorn I-REIT has recorded 11% growth. RAP Trust Imara I-REIT holding steady, while Iram Fahari I-REIT continues to provide transparency and access to real estate. These outcomes demonstrate that with good governance, strong assets, and transparency, REITs can deliver both stability and growth. Today's launch of the REIT Toolkit and Incubator Program is therefore timely. The toolkit will provide practical guidance and resource for restructuring, registering, and operating REITs. As I conclude, ladies and gentlemen, I wish to note that REITs are more than an investment, and I think that has been said also by the previous speakers, that REITs are more than an investment product. They are a development vehicle. They offer a path for investors to access real estate returns without the challenge of direct ownership, where mobilizing capital for Kenya's housing infrastructure and sustainability. I'll just take that again. They offer a pathway for investors to access real estate returns without the challenge of direct ownership, while mobilizing capital for Kenya's housing infrastructure and sustainability agenda. As the Capital Market Authority, we are clear about our commitments to working with you as our industry stakeholders to make Kenya a regional hub for REITs in East and Central Africa. I wish therefore to encourage us to seize the opportunity provided by the continuing engagement to deliver transformative impact to the Kenya budding real estate market. Thank you, and I wish you fruitful deliberation.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Kamunyu Njoroge.